this thumbnail in there. I thought this one was pretty good. You can see my like weird uneven nostrils in this one. But I'm filming this Wednesday night, and so the Argentina-England game is done. The finals set for Sunday. I want to do a quick one and talk a little bit about the Premier League. But I'll start with Spain did beat France 2-0, I believe. I did not watch that game. I was seeing and hearing it was kind of like France was not playing well, and also Spain was shutting them down. So it was that kind of, combination of both things. Let's I want to get to the who scored, but FOTMob, I'm not finding it here. Oh wait, there we go. Just go to yesterday. Poro at 58 and Oyara's a ball. 22 minutes penalty kick. They shut him out. They won ball possession 51-49. They had 3 big chances. 85% accurate passes. 23 total fouls committed, 11 by France, 12 by Spain. 4 offsides to 5. 5 for Spain, 4 for them. 7 corners for France to only 1. For Spain, each had 10 total shots. 5 were off target, 3 on target for France, 2 on target for Spain. So, yeah. Keeper saves 3 for Spain, none for France. 8-7 interceptions in France's favor. But so they're set. Obviously, these were the top 4 ranked teams in the world here. So Spain is going. Was Spain ranked 2? And then today I watched this game. I missed the second Argentina goal. Argentina won 2-1. I missed the second Argentina goal because the internet was shit in the bed and started to go out. And then I went back and I was like, damn. Because they were down 1-0. The first half was really scrappy and chippy. People grabbing and shit. They were letting them play a decent amount. At first they were just blowing the whistle constantly. And then they started letting them play a little bit. It looked like the dude on Argentina punched the dude in the back of the head on England at one point early on. Which I got a kick out of for some reason. But it was a chippy game. Gordon scored at 55 minutes for England on a nice assist from Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers. For now, I hear Arsenal wants him and a few other teams. And then Fernandez scored at 85 for Argentina. I saw that goal. And then Martinez at 2 minutes into extra time in the second half. So they scored 2 goals in pretty much 6 minutes. Now, this game, England, I think, was outplaying them a little bit in the first half. In the second half, they were still outplaying them, and then they scored their goal. And you look at the momentum chart, they score their goal, and then all of a sudden, the people, I guess this is a saying in football, soccer, they park the bus. The momentum meter, literally, Aston Villa had, I'm on Premier League. It's Premier, right? Actually, it's not Premier, it's Premier. I've been saying it wrong the whole time, probably. But this meter was all in favor of Argentina until like the final minute, last ditch effort by England, right? And I was watching it, and it reminded me, because I feel hockey and soccer, football are very similar. Obviously, soccer's on a much bigger field than a rink, but it has a very similar flow to it. You got your offsides, and you can get trapped in your own end or zone, right? On their half of the field, Argentina, I think they subbed out a lot of guys and put in a lot of attackers, and they were relentless for 40, literally it was probably like a half an hour to 35, 40 minutes. It was one of those things, and Pickford was making a couple of good saves, but it was one of those things where, like in hockey, I always equate this shit to the Islanders, because that's obviously my team. Because the Islanders used to take leads, especially in the Trotz era, even though they played very well for him, and they would just, as they said here in football, park the bus. They would sit there and just play defense like they were desperately trying to hold their lead. Why would you do that against Argentina if you're England? Like a lot of people saying Spain did not do that against France. They scored that first penalty kick goal and they dictated the pace. Argentina was just like, okay, they were so deep this whole time, England, and they were in corner after corner, I feel. How many corners did they actually have? I want to see. Yeah, it was 64 ball possession to 36. And that 35-minute span, it was literally like 88% to 12 or some shit. England had the ball possession like 12% after their goal. I want to see, though. Yeah, 6 corners to 1 in favor of Argentina. Messi was doing his thing. He was creating. Like, it's great. Every time that dude touches the ball, he's making a play. You know, a couple guys in England made some good plays on him, but he's always in it. He's always making shit fucking happen, right? He's the greatest in the world for a reason. You know. And it's like it was so weird because I was reminding me of the Islanders. Like, they get scared and like, oh my God, we got, like, you get the lead. Keep pushing. Now they pushed a little bit right after the lead. Morgan Rogers had a shot that was blocked. They were making a play. And then there was another one where I think it was one of the dudes on Argentina made a nice move to get it out of the zone. Emi Martinez, though, Argentina's keeper, that's Aston Villa. I think he's staying with Aston Villa again this year, so that'd be good. But, like, they played scared. Like, a lot of people were getting on the coach, Tuchel, for England because he made a bunch of substitutions and put more defenders in, I believe. And it wasn't doing anything. They were just pressure. Like, they were just like, fuck it. We're going to pray and hope for the best. Now, I was saying to somebody on Instagram that, now, from what I not watched the other Argentina games, but they score a lot of goals later in the game. Egypt, they did it, which was even more nuts. They were down 2-0 and won that, I think, before extra time, which is nuts. With like 20 minutes left or 15 minutes, some shit. But it almost seems like they're very chill, doing their thing, and then with, like, you know, in this game, like 34, it's like they're just like, fuck it. They save up their energy and they just go balls to the wall for like 30, 40 minutes. And it's kind of an interesting, if it's working out that way, I could be probably completely off, but it's like the other team, like England's clearly gassed at that point. They're just constantly having to defend. And it's like, I mean, Argentina put in attackers, I believe extra attackers, but it's like they have fresh legs. They're just going nuts. And even the guys that were in the whole time, it's like they're almost kind of chilling, getting some opportunities, nothing crazy. And then it's just like, boom, put it to 100, boom, boom, boom. You can't stop it. They were relentless. I will say this game got me extremely excited for the Premier League season. I was like, I cannot wait for that to start. But so much was like, England, like, you're really going to sit on that against Argentina? You're going to sit and hope for the best? Come on, man. At the very worst, the very best, I should say, they score that one goal and it goes to extra time and maybe you pull it out then. But at worst, you're going to lose in regulation, and they did. They scored 2 goals in 6 minutes because they were just going nuts. What were the shots? The total shots were 15-5, and I wouldn't be surprised if like 12 of those were after that England goal. And that goal was nice by England. I think it was Gordon that scored a nice pass. Because Morgan Rogers, I was like, fuck yeah. Everybody was like, put Ollie Watkins in. Kane's not doing anything. But they do have their third place game against France. But, so we got Argentina, Spain. But it got me excited. I was getting excited during the game, you know. I was like, oh shit, I wanted England when I was rooting for England. But, you know, I feel bad for the people from England. They're like, shit, you know. I put a little thing on Instagram, people are messaging me. But I'm not, like, obviously a hardcore fan or anything of England, so you get over it quick, right? You're kind of watching it and both sides, like, oh, nice play, nice save, nice shot, nice assist, whatever. The first Argentina goal, the England people were so far back, past to this dude, who scored the goal. I think it was Messi that got the assist on that one. To Fernandez. He had a massive amount of space to just go boom. Like, nobody was, like, within, like, maybe, I guess it would be, like, 5 yards. You know, he was here. They were, like, up here. He's just, like, I didn't, like I said, I think the second goal was, like, right in the ball, like, really tight into the goal. I didn't see it because the thing fucked up. But Argentina's going for back-to-back. Apparently they won like the 2 Copa tournaments too, or Copa America. So they're on like a friggin' insane run here. You know, a lot of people, fans of England, saying this is what England does. I don't know. This is my first time paying attention to I would always pay attention to the World Cup from a distance and not watch the games. Just like, oh, what's USA doing? Okay, they're gone. What is so and so doing? What's Germany doing? Argentina, Brazil, England, France, Spain. You know, teams that I know that are typically good or typically compete. I guess not that was only England's fourth semifinal in their existence, so I guess maybe they're not competing for World Cups as much as people like obviously Germany, Brazil, Argentina, France now. But it was wild to watch them just. It was like watching the Islanders, or any hockey team for that matter, that likes to sit on the puck and just play back after they take a lead because they're so afraid to, like, keep the pedal to the metal. It was them, like, in hockey, it's like the equivalent is they're unable to clear the puck. They can't get it out. Or they do, and it's an icing, and it's still brought back into your zone for a face-off. Shots on goal, letting rebound. The goalie can't hold a rebound. You know, shit like that. That's why it's very, to me, similar to hockey, football, soccer, because it has a very kind of similar flow. I think hockey flows a little better because a lot of guys are falling down in fucking soccer. You know, they're fucking falling to the ground, barely getting touched, falling to the ground. A few times in this game, the people should have fell to the ground because they got wailed. Of course, I understand you're trying to draw a foul or a card. There was a couple of yellow cards, one for England, I believe, and two for Argentina. And those were like kind of, the Argentina ones were like, and the England one, it was pretty much just trying to stop a player from making a move. It was a kind of strategic play. A lot of guys go down. I want to see, you want to see more fist fights almost. Like, although I think Jude Bellingham smacked a dude from Argentina on the back of that after the game. Now, somebody was saying, because he speaks Spanish too, apparently, so someone's like, oh, I think somebody said something, didn't know he would understand it and didn't, got pissed. Or he was just being a clown. I don't know. But that game is on Sunday. I guess the third place game's on Saturday. But now, I mean, the Premier League starts in a little more than a month. Holy shit. Aston Villa lost Tielemans to, I think, Manchester United. They lost the defenseman from France, and I can never say his name right. People have told me to say his name. Is it Dingue or some shit? I don't know. Yeah, Tielemans, it says here, $35 million move to Manchester United. Triggering a release clause. Rodgers everybody wants him. I think the Lucas guy is also going, though I just said. I think he left. I think he's going somewhere else. They did get a guy. Apparently they swooped in and got him instead of Newcastle, I believe it was. Johan Monzambi. Or something like that. He played for the Swiss team, had a nice little World Cup. I was like, okay, this signing seems pretty good. People seem excited about it. That was cool to see. But, yeah, and like I said, you have Coventry, Ipswich, Coventry, and, is it Hull City? The three new teams in there. Who does Aston Villa open the season with? Got a couple friendlies here. Oh, they got a couple friendlies in Super Cup against PSG. PSG is an energy company up in the Northeast for like New York and maybe Connecticut and New Jersey. They're based in New Jersey. Their first game is against Brighton on August 23rd. These other games are club friendlies except this UEFA game against PSG. Paris Saint-Germain is that what that is. But, I'm getting excited. I'm like, shit, man, I'm excited. I'm going to try to get an Aston Villa hat. This hat has gotten discolored from being out in the sun. I will wear my hats into the ground, though. But I'm excited about the season coming up. I was like, it was like the World Cup was like, get me like really pumped. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I cannot wait. This did not turn out. I did have Spain versus France, and I did have Argentina in there as well. So I had 3 of the final 4, but I had Brazil, France for the final. And that didn't work out. I did all right, I think, on the picks. I don't know who else is on the move. Let's see. Let's go back to the leagues. I'll just go to some teams. I don't know if I can find. Can I find news? No. This is news for everything. Transfer rumors. 45 minutes ago. 4 takeaways from England's gut-wrenching World Cup collapse. Now, typically, you wouldn't call it a collapse. I guess, they were only up 1-0. It's not like they were 2-3-0 or some shit. A collapse in the sense that you were just like, fuck it. Argentina is just going to impose their will on us, and we're going to hang back and hope that a top team in the world, the defending champs, are not going to score a goal or two. Come on now. Dumb. Yeah, Monzambi is set for a medical on Thursday. That's tomorrow. I'm filming this. I'm putting this up Thursday. Tielemans is gone. He was a solid player for them. All right, so what are some of these transfer rumors? Fenerbahce, I don't know what league they're in. They want to start official negotiations with Manchester United for Marcus Rashford. He was in the World Cup. Spence played very well for England today. He had some nice moves and shit. Gordon played well. He had the goal. He had a nice couple of moves early in the game, but did not shoot or attempt to pass, and he just kind of lost the ball. Arsenal continues to keep tabs on Julian Alvarez. Oh no, Morgan Rogers is open to joining Tottenham, but his preference remains Arsenal is prepared to wait for the Gunners, despite questions over their ability to afford him. I don't want to see him leave. That sucks. I don't know how often people leave teams, but it's like, I can't get attached to any fucking players because they're going to leave after 2 fucking years. I don't know. I know now, like, the bigger teams generate more money so they can do more shit, I guess, even if they're in debt, because they generate the money back, and Aston Villa's not generating that money, so they eat penalties more because they're spending money on dudes, I guess, and then they gotta eat it and lose some dudes, I guess. But they signed this other dude, that Johan Monzambi. That could be a good signing. I was looking at his stats, I was like, oh shit. And he had I was looking at his highlights from the World Cup. I was like, oh shit, not bad. But they have Emery, and it seems seemingly in football or soccer, the coach is massive. Like, since he's been coach, they've been pretty good. They won the Europa League this year, and they've had good finishes, I think, the past 3 or 4 seasons. I feel like a coach can get you a couple wins here because he's got good tactics and shit and knows what he's doing. Good strategies and whatnot. But if Emi Martinez comes back, that's great. He's a fucking world-class goaltender. A keeper, obviously. He's going for a second World Cup. And they'll still, I assume, have Watkins. And they still have, like, John McGinn and stuff. And I think they'll still finish top 10. That's my opinion on that. I don't think they're any threat to get relegated, even if Rodgers walks. Because I guess he walks, you don't have to pay him, and maybe that's helping you in a way. I don't know all the ins and outs, obviously, of this stuff, but yeah. Let me go back to that real quick. I don't know why I went away from it. I'm just like, okay. No talks have taken place between Arsenal and Newcastle for midfielder Bruno Guimaraes. Leeds United are interested in Manchester City goalkeeper James Trafford and could afford to pay the requested $54 million fee. Inter they're in the, I don't know what league they're in. Italy. Italian league. They're in the Italian league, I guess. Are they? Because the source is Sky Italy. Inter have joined club showing interest in ex-Manchester center back John Stones, who's a free agent. So he's just free agents. Yeah, Serie A. He was on the team too. He played. Christian Norgard, that's the guy from Norway, prefers to stay with Arsenal for another year. La Liga, it has for everything. Barcelona want to secure Ferran Torres' future with a new contract, having rumored interest from PSG. Ex-Arsenal captain Pierre-Emerick, I cannot say that name, is heading back to La Liga, the former Barcelona striker. The former Barcelona striker, not striker, is joining Deportivo La Coruna. I probably said that right there. Transfer rumors, Manchester United chase Arsenal forward. Holland plots Real Madrid meeting. But yeah, I'm fucking excited for the Premier League. I really am. I am going to be in Florida for that first game, so I won't be able to watch it unless my aunt has certain channels. A lot of the stuff's on the USA Network and stuff, so if that one's on there, I'd probably be able to watch it. Because I will be down there. When is the 23rd? It's Sunday. Depends on when that game is. I could still be on the train if it's fucking late. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be. Because we'll probably be traveling back from the train station, possibly, and then I got to stop at Walmart to get some shit. Let's see. Come on, you stupid thing. I'll end it on this. This actually went longer than I thought it would. Here's the transfers. Andre Santos went from Chelsea to Manchester United 2 days ago. Luka Vuskovic went from Tottenham to Brighton. Sandro Tonali went from Newcastle to Tottenham. Giovanni Quenda went from SCP, does that say, to Chelsea. And there's one more. Bazumana Dore went from, I don't know who that is, to Newcastle. Hoffenheim. Is that in the Bundesliga? But yeah, let's go to the leagues real quick. I want to see when that game starts. Actually, it probably doesn't have a start time yet. When the hell does that game start? No, it does have times. It's 9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. time here. So I'm definitely going to most likely be on the train, so I'm not going to see that game. But I'll do a Premier League recap from Florida on the first week. Actually, I should be able to... No, yeah. Let's see who they're playing the second week, because I will be down there for that full weekend. Alright, I'm just going to look at this, and then this has gone on longer than it has to. The 31st, Monday the 31st, they're playing Arsenal. That's going to be a tough game to start out of the season. Maybe I'll check that one out if I can. But anyway, World Cup update. How's your country doing? Or your favorite team if you're not from that country and you just root for one of these teams. Like if you're in the US or some shit, and you're like, yeah, I root for the USA, but I know they're not going to win it, so I have a backup team.